Hey everybody, welcome to GameSpot stream of the Wii U. Peter Brown, here with Maxwell McGee.
That's me.
Carolyn Pettit.
Hi.
We're gonna check out a little bit of Super Mario Brothers on the U, Nintendo Land.
Super Mario Brothers U,
Just the U
as it's called.
You can tell I reviewed it because I know what it's called. And then we're gonna play some ZombiU as well.
Yes.
But so to begin with, we're looking at right now the home screen for the system. Nintendo finally issued their update.
This is what's known as the Miiverse,
The Miiverse,
correct? And
right,
as a chat bubble on here helpfully spelled out just a moment ago, Miiverse comes from the words me and universe.
I never would have known that.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, mind blown. That's where the name comes from.
Creative people
Yes.
over at Nintendo.
So
Yeah, so Miiverse lets people kind of like wander around this little plaza, see what you're up to, hang out in your square. Is that what they call it?
I don't know.
Square? I don't know. But anyway, you guys are here to see the games. Let's get into the games. We're going to start off with New Super Mario Bros. U.
Well, okay. Oh, update.
And we're going to update real quick.
Yeah,
Awesome.
well, hopefully real quick.
Yeah, so... Ooh, boo.
Can we just skip the update?
Totally.
I know.
yeah.
Do we need an internet connection for our local multiplayer?
No. So yeah, when a lot of the editors kind of got their Wii U's, there was a lot of software missing, and last minute Nintendo finally issued the update on Saturday night, and we've kind of
Yeah.
all been scrambling to get our coverage up. And for the most part, Nintendo's delivered on what they promised. Things like the Wii U TV app, that
Yeah.
won't be available until December.
Right.
But pretty much everything else is here. You got the browser, you've got the eShop up and running. Sure, why not? Cool, let's not worry about that right now.
I know, because it's...
So this would be the fourth entry in the new Super Mario Brothers series, I
Yeah,
believe.
hot on the heels of the new Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS.
Do I need the nunchuck part of the Wii
No.
to play
You
this?
do
Okay.
not.
Unplug that.
So let's just start from the beginning.
Sure.
Let's give people a little preview of that. All right, thanks Nintendo, I guess.
Now, please tell me that in the new Super Mario Bros. Vein, that if we play multiplayer, we can all bump into each other and knock each other off of platforms.
This is
and
true,
into holes?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
good. That was always my favorite part. Oh, I guess I'm Mario, because I'm player one. What's up?
I'm gonna take Luigi.
Oh, of course you do.
Haha.
Yeah, so Nintendo's
I don't know why they stick with these
the
two
two toads. Yeah,
toads.
that's what I was gonna say.
I
It seems a little
mean,
weird.
Did they ever give them like official names, or are they just like Blue Toad,
Toad clones.
and kind of Orange Toad?
No names that I know.
They
of,
might
but-
be trying to build out new original
rich-
characters to
yeah.
expand the Mario universe.
Well, it'd be nice if they would throw Peach in there, right? I mean, granted, for the story mode,
Then
it
who's
kind of
gonna
doesn't
get
work.
kidnapped,
I know.
Peter?
Well, fine. So make it Daisy. Give us Daisy. I'll take Daisy.
Now,
Amazing.
dating back to Super Mario Bros. 3, airships have always been like one of my favorite aspects of certain Mario games. So this intro with its kind of fleet of airships there is pretty promising for me. It gets me excited about where this game might be going.
There are a lot of good things in this game that will remind people of new, Super Mario World for Super Nintendo, Mario Brothers 3 as well. It's kind of surprising it took Nintendo so long to introduce these things, these aspects, like the sort of all the little hidden secrets and branching paths.
Yeah.
There's no telling why they kind of didn't keep those in the new series, so it's great that they're back, personally. It kind of makes the whole social aspect of the game that much more interesting, and now that they've got Miiverse up and people can leave notes, I'm curious to see where that's going to go for this.
Sure. Looks
Spoiled
great
Koopa kids.
in HD too. Just gorgeous to see the Mushroom Kingdom realized in HD for the first time.
Yeah, I think it also helps they've paid a little more attention to stuff that goes on in the background
Yeah.
of the levels, so it's
No,
not
exactly.
as bland. And
yeah, no, it seems like the art design is also more thoughtful here than it has been maybe in earlier new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah. And so everything starts out pretty simply, I
Sure.
mean, we're basically here. We're in a nice, comfortable little garden. Let's play some Mario. Let's have light, fun, happy time. But eventually, it will get challenging. No doubt about that. So yeah, we're all playing on Wiimotes right now. I've also got the gamepad down here,
Hey,
which will let us place platforms within the game.
Yeah, so
You
show
guys can
that off.
see.
So that's you right now putting, and so I mean obviously it's difficult to play with a remote and do that at the same time, but theoretically a fourth player could just grab that and either help us out or kind of grief us totally by putting those platforms in our way as we're like jumping or what have you. And I've messed around with that a bit, and it is a whole lot of fun to get involved in the game that way.
Yeah, and I think whether you're griefing or whether you're assisting,
we're going down, guys.
Whatever you say. Whatever method you take, it's kind of just a lot of fun to be able to interact in that other way.
Yeah.
And you know, like in New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, you could kind of assist your player by maybe jumping off their head, but it was only ever to get like maybe a star coin.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that beneficial, so this is much more useful this time around.
Now you've got the flying squirrel suit on there, Mario, right?
I do. I'm not 100% on how to use it.
All right, so Max, if you hold down the one button to run, you can then jump and hold down 2 to kind of glide, but mid-glide you can shake the controller and it'll give yourself a little bit of a boost.
Oh, okay.
But you don't.
I did it for a second.
Yeah, but then you kind of hover down. You don't really glide the same way.
Okay. So it's not exactly like the cape.
Right, it's slightly different. Another thing you can do is latch onto walls.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Which is another way to provide assistance, sort of like acting as a platform.
Oh, I was gonna let you get that, and then I didn't. I was a big old jerk. Oh, no.
Do you guys have a favorite Mario
I
game?
don't have the raccoon tail.
Well, no, I can't pick just one.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, and Galaxy are all, I think, just absolute masterpieces.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to compare these to the Galaxy series because they're so different, but
yeah,
Galaxy games are so brilliant.
They really are. They're just incredible.
But these also have merit and value. And so
no question about that. I mean,
I really hope Nintendo, they've done a good 2D entry. I want to see another Galaxy game, if
yeah,
possible.
or another 3D game that kind of moves 3D platforming forward in new ways, like the Galaxy games did.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, Super Mario Galaxy 2 might have taken that series about as far as it can go, or maybe not. But you know, I just want another incredible. I mean, it's just amazing to me that Mario, the character of the series, was sort of the original great platforming series, and it's still, with Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 is like at the forefront of the platforming genre.
Oh yeah, it's still so relevant. Where so many series kind of disappear after a certain amount of time.
Right, exactly.
Mario's one that almost has never really done anything that wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's had its maybe lesser entries, certainly.
Yeah, but it's not like a series like Final Fantasy where you have half the fan base upset with the producers. It's generally just like, well, okay, there's one feature I don't like or something's missing.
Or like,
it's still a
this
good game
is good, but it doesn't quite live up to the standards of the series.
Yeah, there aren't many series outside of maybe Tetris that have maintained the same level of quality.
I don't know, man. Hatris? Are you saying Hatris was up there with all the other? I don't know, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Hatris is a game in the Tetris series. Okay.
For what? For what?
Expand.
For hats, of course.
Hats?
No, I don't know. It was like a PC game. I think it came out in maybe the early '90s. I don't remember. I think there was Weltris, which was like a 3D, like you're kind of looking down a well Tetris game. Hatris. I don't remember all the other weird Tetris games, but yeah, I don't know, man. That series had some inconsistent entries for sure.
Well, fine. Forget it.
Come on, bozos, get up here. Let's move.
All right, so these things are gonna move.
Oh, this is cool. I like these things. Oh God. Ah! Come on, Luigi. Come on, Luigi.
Don't do it.
Good use of character-specific sound effects coming out of your Wiimote. I mean, that's nothing new for this series, I guess, but it's cool to, if you're big and you get knocked down, the shrink sound comes out of your Wiimote.
So I guess that, if you do have the gamepad and someone needs help, you can put yourself in a bubble by hitting A.
Oh, nice.
And then use the gamepad if you wish.
Okay, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. The only risk you run by doing that is, of course, if the other person dies, then you both die. But it's the same as just playing single player.
Right.
The person on the gamepad is not an active player with lives. It's just sort of, you're this omnipotent platform producer.
Oh, come on. Can you not?
I need a
can
running
we
start.
not?
You can totally
Yeah.
run. You got it.
Yeah, thanks for the boost. And right into the piranha plant. Oh, no.
Nice work. Okay, so right here we can bunt stop this guy. Deform the level. Oh no!
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
My fault. Sorry. What?
Oh,
No.
poor Toad.
So lost and confused.
Woohoo! Yeah, I don't know. This is to me is great, and I'm watching your video review, Peter, and other coverage I've seen of this game elsewhere. The level design just in this game seems consistently just
It's so well done.
really, really good.
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean, so much more inspired than I think the earlier New Super Mario Brothers games.
totally agreed. Yeah. And you know, this game starts off pretty easy too, which in the beginning I felt like, okay, you know, shoot, this is going to be just sort of another New Super Mario game with a little more polish.
Sure.
But it definitely gets challenging, and it sort of comes in a way that you're like, wow, I just sort of lost about 10 lives. I should check myself and,
Yeah.
and take this a little bit slower.
And that's I mean, really going back to, you know, again, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World, they all start off with that, I mean,
yeah,
pretty...
you get a first, dozen levels or so that are
just
pretty easy.
kind of, yeah, and then
Give you a bit of confidence.
and then things get a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the castle,
Marcel, do you have a favorite Mario game?
Ooh, it's hard to tell. I mean, the one I played the most growing up would probably be 3.
Yeah.
I guess I was probably me just being bad at video games, but World always frustrated me. I always thought
Which world?
Super Mario World.
Oh, Super
Yeah.
Mario World. Okay.
Obviously, it's just a fantastic game now that I can fully
this
appreciate.
is
But
a,
as
this
a
is
kid,
a good one. Oh,
yes,
Ooh.
yes, you're welcome. What's up, Toad?
Someone wasn't paying attention.
So this will get harder too. Like as you progress, these Toad houses will have like 5 blocks with
Yeah.
like 2 of the Bowser tiles.
Yep.
So it becomes challenging in that regard. So this guy on top of the little castle here, he is kind of a recurring mid-boss for all the worlds.
Okay,
But in every world, he has another aspect that's sort of upgraded, so he becomes a little bit more challenging.
I guess we should go this way, like the sign says.
You can go either way. The screen will zoom out, and we
Yeah.
can kind of take our time. This little level has a lot of hidden things behind walls. So yeah. There you go. Start playing.
Ice flower.
Oh, Toad.
Some terrible noises coming out of your
I know.
Wii remote right now.
I'm haunted.
Oh, sorry, Toad.
It's all right. Quick on the draw. Nope. I wish, I kind of miss in Super Mario Brothers 2. They all had like a little special ability, every character.
Well, yeah.
It's not wrong for me to expect that that could be a thing that Nintendo would do again.
Well, no, but at the same time, like if you're playing 4 players simultaneous, it's maybe kind
It could
of
be
nice to feel like
advantageous.
everyone's on a level playing field.
Well, then let me choose a Mario in blue.
Mario in blue.
I would rather have characters with different abilities. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
think
great
what she's getting at
strength.
though is just like having all of the different abilities interacting at the same time
Why would that be a problem?
might be too chaotic.
Boo, I disagree.
Because how do you? Okay, so you have all
You have
these.
Peach's floatiness.
You have all these
Luigi.
unique abilities, but if you have the option where players can play cooperatively or single player, then
Right.
you cannot design levels around
Yeah, I think
specific
it
abilities.
makes level design more difficult. Right, exactly.
It would just flatten everything out because characters would just
There would be no situations where you could uniquely use your power.
So
you
then
could
how do you... Wait,
you would only
hold
use
on,
your
hold
power
on.
to circumvent things.
So then how do you explain Super Mario Bros. 2 then? Even though it wasn't multiplayer, the levels were the same no matter who you played. And that game was fantastic.
Well, yes, it was, but I mean...
So there.
I mean, but think about...
No, I'm right. You guys are both wrong. And I'm
I
right.
guess, I mean, they all just had different variations on jumping, really.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like
Mario
giving
didn't even
So-
have a power, did he?
Not that I know of, but
Yeah, well,
he
he
may have
was,
been
he
able
was
to
like
jump farther.
he was the balanced one, I think. Others were like, I don't know,
'Cause
slow
Luigi-
but could jump.
He had like
high.
that really floaty jump.
Right.
Toad could... I
Peach
think he
could-
had a better vertical.
No,
Peach could
I think
float.
wasn't Toad able to like pull stuff out of the ground more quickly?
Was that it?
Potentially,
I
yeah.
feel like that was it.
I don't see how that would ruin a game at all. To me, that seems like it would only add to it. Because
Maybe.
you guys were so reluctant.
It
I'm so
depends on
surprised.
it. Really. I mean,
I'm really
I think it just
surprised.
makes.
I mean, I think they could do it. And it would probably work fine. But I
Because
don't.
they have done it.
I don't think it
They've
would
done
be,
it before.
I don't think it would be very, like, creatively interesting.
I think the level design.
I don't think it would add much.
But even having 4 characters of the exact same is
Well, I mean,
less
I'm-
interesting, or is more interesting than having 4 with varied skills.
If you have 4 characters that are the exact same, then at least you know
I mean, like-
the ability,
like,
the
let's say-
capabilities of all the players.
So
and
in
can
a
design
place
around
like
them.
that, you might have, say, areas that only Peach could reach with her longer floaty jump.
Yeah.
So why would you ever play as a character who wasn't Peach? Who could
Why
reach
would you have
those?
to design the level for that? Why not just have it be a multiplayer experience where, say, you guys, someone's got hit. Okay, it's not me.
Oh, it's probably me.
Where everything's fine and it's just the way you want to play. Whether you want a character who's a little bit floaty, and that could depend on how you handle bosses or how you handle particular gaps. Whether you'd wall jump or whether you just float over. I think you wouldn't have to design a level specifically for different abilities.
All right. Maybe
I'm not giving up this fight. I think if they've done it before, they could certainly do it again.
So I think what I'm really getting at here is
Hey,
that we just need a
Yoshi.
Super Mario Brothers game where the only playable character is Peach. Come here, Yoshi.
So there are baby Yoshis in this game, which we'll probably see pretty soon. They come in different colors, and all those different colors have different
Oh,
abilities.
what happened? I gotta get back on my Yoshi, guys.
Oh
Hang
my
on.
god, why are you all losing your Yoshi?
Come back here, Yoshi! Oh, I lost my Yoshi.
You sure for good?
Oh, whatever.
You got a commitment.
That's rough.
You gotta get out there and find out.
Hey, Yoshi's back. Hey, Yoshi. Hey, Yoshi, slow down. All right,
go.
let's go. Oh, okay, bounce on my head. What? Somebody call.
What madness is this?
No. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, let's hightail it out of here. Ooh, can I? Hey, ah! Dang it. No, hey, 2 Yoshis.
Oh my god. There we go.
Fruit. What happened if I... Oh, weird.
Yeah, I think you can just bring it to somebody.
Huh.
On top of great Mario games, I did just finish Thousand Year Door.
Oh,
Yes, you
GameCube
did.
recently. After like playing that game on and off for 4 years.
Oh, I
That
didn't even see that game.
that was a delight. That game is so good.
that game is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh.
I just think it's beautiful and hilarious. I mean, so many great characters, Rock Hawk and just one fantastic situation after another. The train kind of Murder on the Orient Express type thing.
I got what they were doing with that section. That was my least favorite segment.
Really?
The
Oh,
Orient
I loved
Express
it.
segment. It was. I mean, I can even understand why they put it in there because it's a lot of talking to people.
Yeah.
And which is
And the
not
writing in
something
that
you've
game
done a
is-
whole lot up until that point.
Yeah.
Instead of just focusing on combat, it tries to do something a little different.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just shallow like that. Just like, I want to hit stuff. Where's the part where I get to fight again? Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey. I bounced off a blue toad's head and got a pretty decent position on the flagpole. Hey, Yoshi.
Later.
Does Yoshi come along?
I don't believe so.
Oh, all right. See you next time, Yoshi.
But we do get Baby Yoshi over here.
All right, let's see Baby Yoshi.
All right, so the pink one, I believe, provides a sort of like a flight mechanic. You kind of hold on to him. You have to carry them through every level.
Oh, right.
So you hold on to him and you shake the controller and he inflates and sort of provides a bit of lift.
Okay.
There's a yellow one that sort of lights up dark areas. Make sure you pick them up.
Everyone grab your Baby Yoshi.
Mine committed suicide.
There's a yellow one that you use to light up dark areas.
This is only, mildly disturbing.
There's a blue guy that fires bubbles, which I think is the most interesting because those bubbles act as platforms. And you can reach some pretty impressive heights. There's one place where you need to collect star coins in particular where you have to sort of platform off a series of bubbles, and it's pretty challenging. But the reward is worth it. These beautiful star coins. And so in this game, kind of like other new Super Mario games, you collect enough star coins, you'll unlock other levels.
Sure.
In this instance, there's sort of like a star road similar to Super Mario World where you can unlock levels there. But you play through the first world and you're like, okay, I've got all the star coins, why isn't this open?
Right.
Only once you check the index do you realize like, oh wait, there's a whole secret level I didn't even see. So then you kind of have to play through the whole world again after just combing it for star coins, looking for some alternate exit somewhere.
Okay.
And it's really unclear.
Huh.
And that's the kind of scenario where Miiverse or sort of word of mouth strategies, from friends is interesting, and that's kind of the old school way.
Yeah, so Miiverse, for people who may not know, it includes a capability for people to send kind of messages to each other about a given game, right? Like
Yeah. Similar to the notes in Dark Souls.
Yeah. It's a common comparison that's being made.
Those
kinda
baby
cool.
Yoshis all look so smug and full
They look
and proud.
Yes.
All right, coming up here on the castle.
Okay. Maybe we'll play this and then perhaps move on to
Sure, yeah. Move on to
another
Nintendo
game.
Land.
Yeah.
There's a lot to see in Nintendo Land, so.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
good
try to be selective rather than exhaustive in our approach to Nintendo Land, but yeah, I want to show off a few things.
Oh, whoopes! I did not have.
Oh, what's up,
Power of
guys?
flight
All
in
right,
there.
here we go. Back
So one of these, in this level, you can actually kind of go above the ceiling
Sure.
and run over. I forget which part it is, and it's only for a section of it. But that's another, it's kind of a throwback to the original Super Mario World in that regard. And 3 as well. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Where am
Don't forget you can always hit the A button
Ah,
if you're about to die.
I do forget.
I? Oh,
Toad is not interested
You guys got to keep shaking it.
in.
Sorry.
hey, out of my
Okay,
way,
no.
out of my way, Toad.
Oh, really? Okay.
I will
Sacrifice yourself.
give myself to the greater good.
Yes, you will.
I'm having some trouble.
I think I missed one of those red coins back there.
Oh,
Poor Luigi.
Onwards and upwards.
Luigi's
it.
gravestone is going to read, "Poor Luigi."
yeah.
Oh, shoot. There we go. All right.
Ah, well, we ran out of lives?
Yeah, well,
Everybody
we
was
died,
dead
yeah.
simultaneously.
Oh, right.
We're
Okay.
almost through the level, so we were at the halfway point, so let's give it another go.
Sure,
Whoever is in
yes.
control, please.
Does somebody want to give up their slot and just use the touchpad?
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
I can-
yeah.
Yeah, who wants
Why
to
don't
do
I
it?
do that?
There you go.
Okay, so I'll just hit A and
Just hit the A button.
go into bubble mode here, and
Do not
Alright.
touch the Ouija.
I will do my best
All right.
to keep you guys in business here.
So, Kara, can you provide me a platform up above the brick?
Where?
Yeah, like up there. Let me get up to that. Oh, okay, so that's not the spot.
Oh!
Oh, that was me. That was all me. Try to get clever.
There you go. Here comes Luigi getting danger close. There we go.
No! Oh dear.
All right, so before I go through that door, bloop, there you go.
Hey, hot damn. Thank you.
That's a pretty consistent trick in this game, is whenever you reach a boss door, just run to the far wall and jump. There's usually
There'll be a little,
box there.
bonus there.
Yeah, it's one of those secrets that's in this game not so secret after a while. You kind of pick up on it.
So now, in addition to Carolyn's ability to tap on the screen and create blocks, is there anything else she can do on the
So
touchpad?
sometimes there are little power-ups or little indicators that she'll see on her screen that she can touch, which will like reveal a power-up. She can stun certain enemies.
Hey.
Let's see, she can interact with the environment a little bit. I'm pretty sure like that platform we saw in the first level with the crystal caves, where we butt stomped that thing, she could actually just touch it. I'm not sure if that one specifically works though, I forget.
We can probably come
Oh,
out of the
sorry.
bubble now and
Keep.
get back in the fight. Oh.
There you go.
All right.
First world of New Super Mario Bros. U. Yeah, so this is pretty easy, pretty fun, pretty lighthearted, but guarantee by the time you hit World 5, World 6, things get pretty challenging, and there are a lot more secrets to find, and they are much harder to find.
Awesome.
So yeah.
All right. Well, maybe let's move on into Nintendo Land.
Let's do it.
Let's close this up. Turn to the Wii U menu. I don't know if people really got a look at the Miiverse screen before when we first kicked off the stream, so maybe at least.
Have you had a chance to play around with it, that one, a little bit?
I have not had a chance.
I've not
Yeah,
seen it
because
all
I was just able to update like just last night from Nintendo, so I have not had too much of a chance either. But at this point, since we don't have too many friends, I'm not sure what there's going to be to see other than mock Nintendo characters.
No, that's true, but I mean, just even seeing characters, the speech bubbles that kind of pop up here and there gives you some idea, I think, of what the whole idea is. I mean, a lot of it right now is promotional messages from Nintendo.
Might have to use mine.
But still, I especially like the ones that are like if you back out, and then you'll sometimes see speech bubbles that are drawn, like their artwork rather than words, and hopefully we'll see an example of that here in a second.
You reviewed Nintendo Land. How about you?
Oh yeah.
This one, yeah.
Okay.
Are you
I was
gonna switch it out?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll both switch it out.
Let's see here. We can go to the Mii Maker. Look at that real quick. She's switching discs. One thing that's a little bit bothersome to me is it takes like 10 to 14 seconds to open up like the setup menu or the Mii Maker or to back out of it.
Look,
Yeah,
there's a lot of serious
Ones and zeros going
ones
on.
and zeros that go
Yeah.
into making these Miis. You gotta, you gotta get all those noses. You gotta figure out what kind of nose you want. That's a lot of ones and zeros. You gotta get your eyes, your eye colors. It's a lot of variables. It's like Photoshop.
Yeah, it's just like Photoshop.
It's just like Photoshop.
All right, but since we only have so much time here, we're gonna get into Nintendo Land.
All right.
What is your favorite minigame at Nintendo Land? Out of the ones you've
Probably Mario Chase.
played? Yeah.
Is my favorite, which we'll definitely demonstrate here. But maybe I'll I don't know, see if any of the single-player ones are worth showing off a quick look of before moving into that one. Okay. No, not doing this. Oh, that's fine. No. Yeah, yes. Start the software without.
Are you
updating.
You have no idea the consequences that you'll face.
Now, some of the games here rely on a difference between what is shown on the gamepad and what is shown on the TV screen.
Yeah.
So, viewer. Oh, great. So viewers here, I'll do my best to describe how what's on the tablet differs from what's on the screen. But yeah, it's probably going to be okay. Let's see here. So yeah, Nintendo Land is a theme park. It's this big plaza is originally pretty empty, but it gradually becomes more active and decorated as you kind of proceed through the game.
People might think the camera's a little erratic. You should probably explain that it's based on.
Yeah, so the camera shifts as I move the gamepad around. So that's why the camera has that very, very shaky quality to it.
Is there any way to just lock it behind your character, kind of like a third-person, just fixed camera?
I don't believe so. So I'll do my best to. Let's see. What should we do here?
And can you choose these games from a menu, or do you have to navigate the plaza?
Yeah, you totally. At least once you've put a little bit of time into the game, you can totally just pull up this menu here and just dive right in. They're even separated into. So maybe I'll just show off what this the F-Zero one, Captain Falcon's Twister Race looks like.
All right.
Yeah. So this like many of the games here is kind of reliant on a difference between what's on the tablet and what's on the television. The TV is going to show, what all of you will see is a kind of traditional behind the vehicle view like you might see in a racing game. But what's on the tablet, which I see, is a top-down view of my racer and the track ahead. And I steer by tilting the tablet the left and right. And the top-down view makes it much easier for me to see the turns in the track ahead and to avoid obstacles and things like that. So, and the controls are super responsive. It the idea of holding this thing kind of upright and tilting it to steer may sound odd, and it does feel a little strange at first, but you kind of get used to it very quickly. And so, this course, it starts off quite easy, but it gets considerably twistier and more hazardous.
And this plays out like Outrun, where essentially you have to keep meeting checkpoints before the time runs out in order to continue.
Yeah, exactly. And if you, whoops, see, that's not good. If you go off of the course, that's it. It's game over.
I get that they're trying to do this sort of theme park thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're in Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
So they put this little, you have to crank the F-Zero ship, beforehand or whatever, just, based on the way they're doing it. It's kind of a cute F-Zero ship, but I think it'd been nice if they could have just given us F-Zero, not F-Zero in a theme park. And I get what they're going for.
Well, I mean, I see
I get what they're going for, but come on.
But see, I mean...
What's wrong? No, boo.
I mean, of course, we all want a full F-Zero game, and
So
we all
say
want
it, damn
we all want a full Legend of Zelda game and a full Metroid game and all this. But that's not the idea here. Like this is
True, but they didn't
this
have
is
to put that dial and make it all cute and fun. They could make it a little more futuristic. Why not?
what are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
We
We don't need to accept things the way they are. We can wish that they were different.
What are you saying? You want this to play exactly like it plays?
No, no. I'm talking about the way they designed this. It's like you're in a theme park.
So you don't
But-
like the uniform
See,
art design. You'd rather be taking the styles. From the different
I
games.
like. See, if this were like if I went into the Legend of Zelda Hero's Quest or whatever it's called in this, I'm blanking right now, and it were like an actual, like if it presented itself as actually taking place in Hyrule, I'd be put off by that because the gameplay is not anything like what I want or expect from a Legend of Zelda game.
That's fair.
However, it's not. It's like fabric and buttons, and it's like obviously this kind of imitation of Hyrule.
Totally
Kind
get
of
it.
like when you go to Disneyland and you go on the Indiana Jones ride. It's like, and it's
I
not.
totally get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it. It's just my own
So
personal
it's
criticism.
to me, it's a totally fine and rather sweet use of kind of playing on the affections that a lot of us feel for these Nintendo properties,
not me, I
actually trying to be those games.
Well, maybe I'm just crazy.
That's not what I'm saying.
No,
Peter.
no. I'm just saying people can like different things, and I
No,
potentially-
they can't. Peter. Everyone is supposed to like the same things that I like. Okay, Battle Quest. The Legend of Zelda Battle Quest is what it's called. Yeah, let's see if maybe we'll do a little Metroid battle, and then we'll move on to Mario Chase. So, Peter, here you'll need this nunchuck and remote for this. Let's do surface to air combat for 3 players.
Maxwell, mine's connected.
I'm player 1, so I'm connected.
So we got to use that
Looks
other.
like yours is not
I have to
connected.
switch the Wiimote.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Just follow the helpful diagram.
Hey. Let's go here. I really like this kind of pixel mosaic artwork in the hallways that lead to each attraction also, that people may have seen in the background there. Yes. So I, with the tablet, am going to be flying Samus's gunship, and the other players are on foot, and they can, obviously I have the advantage of aerial maneuverability, but I'm also a much bigger target. Peter and Maxwell are smaller. They have the ability to curl up into balls and also to grapple onto certain things. We're gonna skip the explanation here and the practice business and just jump right in. So by default, the total, I have a total of 6 health, and so by default the gunship's total health is the same as that of all the on-foot players combined. So I have 6, they have 3 each, and here I come zooming out of my area, and
Are we trying to just shoot you down?
yes,
Definitely, yeah.
you want to take me down. So flying the gunship on the tablet, oh man, I am getting worked. Yeah, again, being in the gunship is not necessarily, it's certainly doable to win, but it's not necessarily the kind of one-sided advantage that you might think it would be. All right, there we go. I got one of those guys.
Shoot.
We'll say
Oh.
strafing using the motion to look.
I'm out.
Okay. Peter
little
is
difficult
out,
to
but
face.
he can potentially find a heart on the battlefield and get back in the game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is gonna be close.
I'm not doing much of anything right now.
Ah, get him! Oh! Wait, did we get each other? Oh, I know I won. Okay. Whew. So that's an example of the kind of asymmetrical multiplayer that happens a lot in the Nintendo Land games, where the player with the tablet has a different experience than the players with the nunchucks. And now we'll move on to what's probably my favorite of the multiplayer Nintendo Land attractions, and that is Mario Chase, which is basically just a game of hide and seek, but I just think it works so well with the tablet and the and the Wii U. So you guys need to remove your nunchucks for this.
Make up your mind, Nintendo.
So for this game, to explain how it's going to work for me versus what you're going to see on the TV for them, so I'm going to be playing at, let's do the first stage. I'm going to be playing as Mario, and my role is to hide. And on my screen, I have on the tablet, the gamepad, I have a map of the whole arena, and I can see where the other players are at all times. But they can always see, as you'll see on the TV screen, they can always see exactly how far away from me they are, so they know if they're getting hotter or colder. And each of the zones, there's like 4 colored zones in the arena, which makes it easy for them to call out to each other, Mario's in red or Mario's in yellow, to kind of help each other kind of home in on Mario and catch him. So, okay, so I get a little, oh no, okay, so we're not gonna sit through the explanation, but I'm gonna get a brief head start here in just a moment to find my starting spot to hide. Now, the more the merrier, certainly for games like this. So with, I have not actually played it with only 2 people pursuing Mario before. I imagine it's better with the 3 or 4, but we'll see what
Actually, I might want to come over to yellow here.
Damn, I'm off to the worst.
Oh no!
The
but
worst
I'm coming around the
start.
back. I'm coming around the wrong side.
Oh god. Okay, here we go.
She's headed into green. I'm
Shoot,
gonna try
shoot,
to head
shoot.
into blue.
Yeah, stop her before she gets to the
I'm
center.
gonna try to cut off in blue.
Oh god.
Here we go. Coming around.
She's up to green. She's going up to the outer rim.
Okay. I'm coming.
All right, so
Come
now
down
there's a
again.
star in the middle.
Shoot! Don't, no.
Star in the middle.
No, she got it.
Which
She
I
was
got,
talking about
and
it,
now
which means she's
that
probably gonna go
means
get it.
I can totally run into these guys without.
Maxwell, turn around. Watch out.
Oh my god!
Without,
serpentine motions.
And hopefully, like, make my escape here and begin the hiding
lose track.
process
She went
again.
into red. She went into red.
I got her. Yeah, I think this is the most engaging of all the games for me personally.
Yeah, I just think it's so much fun.
Okay, I can see her. She's in the back of green.
Oh.
She's moving around.
Oh, God.
No, she double backed. Now she's trying to go back into. Man, quit running in circles. Commit to an area so I can come and get you. Okay. You were just down
Oh,
here.
I'm so
back in
close.
green. Oh my goodness. Okay. I see you over there.
I can dive a little bit, but I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, you need to get very close for that tackle to work. Oh God, I'm being.
Here we go.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
No! You come back
Mario
here. You come back
time.
here. You come back here. Okay.
Mario time.
No, shut up. Okay, we gotta work together. Okay,
I know.
Which way she's going?
Left. She went to take a left into
Okay.
yellow. Come down. Oh,
down.
Shh. Error.
Oh, okay, now she's really making some ground.
All right, I found her. She's over in blue.
Yeah, she's over in blue.
Yeah.
I want to jump. I want to jump onto these platforms so bad.
But Maxwell, that's not the way they designed it.
I know it's not the way
You shouldn't
they
want to
designed
do
it.
things because they
wanted
didn't
to be
design it that way.
You know, I wish you could jump and then hover for a couple seconds and also pull turnips out of the ground.
But Maxwell, that would ruin the balance.
They wouldn't be able to
The
design
game, it
levels
wouldn't be a
accordingly.
game at that point. It would be something other than a game.
Isn't she up in yellow? I think I saw something up in yellow. There she is. Okay.
Oh,
Up
God.
in yellow. Up in yellow. Don't
Come on,
necessarily
12
go
seconds.
to yellow, but go to somewhere around yellow. Okay.
I see her. but I'm not going to be able to catch her.
Oh my, so much ground to cover. So much ground to cover.
She's free. She's free.
Ah. So and then on the screen it'll show a rundown of the whole match with where I was the entire time.
She was inside the house. Is this the only arena?
No, there's three arenas.
Like that little dance we got going on.
Yeah. It's certainly, I think, it's probably a little harder with just 2 for the Toads to catch Mario than it is with 3 or 4.
We should have caught you right there. We were all right
Yeah,
next to you. Here I am trying to be helpful. Oh, she went over there.
So close.
I think this is where right around here, I did a, no, not yet. Somewhere around here, I did a little move that lost Peter that I was pretty proud of.
Yeah, you got me there.
It's,
There she goes.
wait, yeah.
No, you had lost me
That
before.
right there,
We
that one
doubled
I thought
over,
was
yeah.
pretty good.
Got me.
Spot you.
Got me.
And then it's all just bad. It's all bad, and we're not coordinated.
Ah.
You do have the distinct advantage of seeing where we all are.
Yeah, I mean, it does help, but, yeah. So, I don't know. Do we
There you
want?
go. Should we play one more?
Let's
minigame?
sure.
Or do you want to do another Find Me or what? Chase Me? Rather?
Yeah, let's show off maybe one of the other stages for Mario Chase.
Mario Chase,
Chase
sorry.
Mario, whatever it's called, because they each have different characteristics that can change up the gameplay. And I'll let one of you play as Mario this time.
All right, I'll
and
give it a try.
I will become one of the pursuers. Wait, how do I do this? Let's do. I think the third one is good. It's got slides that make for some speedy getaway potential.
All right. I usually crack under pressure, so let's hope I can do this.
Let's hope you can't.
Oh man, there's a lot of things.
Yeah. So this
lot of things in the
stage,
stage.
yes. You can go down those slides super fast, but you cannot go up them.
This opening 10 seconds is just painful. It's like the longest 10 seconds in the history of seconds. Off to a good
Just
start. Here we go.
getting my tackle, testing to make sure my tackle works properly. Okay, let's
Oh,
see.
okay. You just like automatically go down.
Yeah.
the slides. Okay.
Okay, let's see.
Lost my lookout perch.
Oh.
I'm closing in on yellow here. I'm getting
Oh,
some,
yeah.
some feedback in the yellow quadrant.
Excellent.
Now he's moving away. He wised up to my schemes. I want to get back up on top. Okay. I'm looking. There's a star in the middle now. I can see. Okay, he's in blue.
Okay.
He's in blue. He was near the red checkpoint. He's sort of running back and forth.
Oh,
Now
yeah, I see him.
Now he's all the way in red. But I've lost him.
Dang
I've
it.
lost him.
Dang it, Maxwell.
Okay, he's still in red. He's
Okay.
crossing the middle of red.
Okay, I'm in.
Towards green. I'm gonna head towards the middle. Oh, but
Oh,
in the middle of
that
red.
was that you that just went sliding
Yes,
over my head?
that was me.
Okay. I'm
What? I
quite
can't
close.
go back
20
up that slide?
within.
Are you serious?
Oh, there's you.
I'm looking. Well, let's not be in the same area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back up here. Okay. Looking. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you running.
Oh man, I have not. This is not going well for us. He is a wily and elusive Mario. Okay, blue area-ish. I'm sort of close.
You keep exploring
within
blue. I'm gonna fan
15. I was within 15 yards for a second there, but I didn't see him. Dang it. Let's see if I can spot him from up here. Wait, down in green. Yes, down here in green. I've got him. He's right in front of me, heading into blue, heading up.
All right.
Heading up.
All right. I got you. I got
Which
you.
way did he go? I don't know. Dang it. Oh,
You'll be all right.
I totally lost him again. Gonna go back up to the perch on top, see if I
They
can
put
spot
so
him
much
again.
Distance.
No.
Wow.
He has us beaten this time. That was not a good showing for Team Toad. Oh wait, oh, you almost had him! Oh my god, he's right there! Ah. Oh, dang it. Mario wins again.
He is the golden child. All right.
Let's
So,
see how that one. I want to see how you eluded us that
Ugh.
entire time.
It's gross.
Yeah,
Look how gross this is.
this is really just disgusting. Oh. Good work hoarding this star there.
Yeah. I would need to learn. I gotta learn the color layouts because if I see like, okay, Peter's in blue,
Yeah.
then I need to know like I should go
What's-
towards yellow
yeah, like-
really,
right.
and then find somewhere to head him off in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a game of deep tactics and strategy.
Oh yes.
Oh, see, look. Oh, see, that's where I went down the slide, and I was so close for a split second. And then I lost him. Oh, and right
And
there.
now,
Okay. Well, that was disgusting. And
It's
hey,
challenging,
speaking of
though.
disgusting,
Hey!
let's want to move on to ZombiU.
sure. You want to pop it in there?
All right.
I shall manage that. So Maxwell, you really liked ZombiU, right?
I really enjoyed Zombie. No, not so much. I wasn't the biggest fan of ZombiU, as you can see in my review, which, I mean, is not unfortunate that I wasn't a fan of it, but I know a lot of people were very interested in this game and sort of how, you know, it's a survival horror game, which is a rare breed in and of itself, but
Yeah.
then they were also trying to make, you know, there was some murmurings about how it was going to be slower paced and it was going to focus on like scavenging and survival and it was going to be.
And it has this, I mean, one thing I remember sounding kind of interesting at E3 was this concept of how, you know, this again kind of Dark Soulsian concept of, well, like, if you die, all the gear you've amassed then kind of remains with your corpse, which is now a zombie, potentially, but
Yes.
you can then potentially get back to that zombie and kill it and get back all that stuff. I mean, conceptually, that sounds like it could be pretty
So
interesting.
yeah, if you die from a zombie attack,
Right.
your corpse will reanimate as a zombie. But you can also die from like stepping on landmines and getting blown up.
Yeah.
And in those cases, you're not a zombie, but your backpack will still be intact either way. And if you are able to go back out into the world and find your corpse, which the game does put a little marker on the map to show you where you died so you know where to go back to. If you're able to go back and find your backpack, you can recover most of your equipment. But if you go back out to recover your equipment and you die before you get that equipment, that first backpack that had all of your original equipment in it magically vanishes
Right.
and is replaced by your most current backpack. Because in the time-space continuum of backpacks, having more than 2 backpacks in the universe at any one time creates a massive backpack black hole that will suck in all the backpacks, and then you just wouldn't be able to play at all. And that would be terrible. So you have 2. Normal mode is what we were just talking about, where you die, you respawn as a new character. And you can also play in survival mode, where it's if you die, it's game over.
Oh,
'cause
wow.
your dude's dead.
Roguish.
So we're gonna play just some normal mode here. You've also got, I've not played on Chicken at all, so I'm not entirely sure what the differences are. Actually, no, that's not true, because when we were going back to capture the early game footage, I did play on Chicken for a few hours, and it was just, I don't think it was anything too different. It just seemed like
Zombies
less
took
difficult
hits.
enemies. They perhaps tackled you fewer times. Yeah, it took less hits.
Oh, so you're
things
not
like
fighting against like a horde of zombie chickens.
You are yourself a tiny chicken, much like in Tokyo Jungle, and you have a small chicken-sized backpack. And it looks like we are going to have to watch this introduction.
Oh, unskippable, eh?
Joy.
Basically, zombies happened.
Ah.
Entirely sure why, but they did.
Okay.
And things kind of went south, and now you're a guy in London who needs to shoot the zombies and get away.
Such an original concept.
We're going to meet a character very early on called the Prepper.
Yeah.
He's a military man. He's all about preparation. Preparation is very important. If London had been more prepared for the zombie outbreak, maybe this wouldn't have happened. If you're prepared with all of your gear and equipment, maybe you won't die. The Prepper is also very prepared, but he's not really going to give you any of his supplies or anything. He's just going to talk to you over a radio. But, you know, preparation is key. It's important.
Yeah.
It's an important life lesson that we're going to learn in ZombiU.
All right.
So here's your little dorky-looking guy that you always start out with. You'll notice the sometimes when the lights hit the camera, hit the screen, it sort of looks like it's really dirty. I suppose this is to build sort of a spooky atmosphere, or maybe give a sense that like the Prepper is watching you through his cameras.
Yeah, but that's the only way it would ever make sense.
Yeah. But it is also sort of an annoyance because it just sort of looks like that all the time. Everything is very hazy. And sometimes it can be very difficult to see, especially in bright areas. Whereas when you pull out your scanner pad to scan the environment, everything is very clean and clear. So oftentimes I find it is much easier to just sort of stop and use the pad to sort of look around the room and get an idea of where to go, and then let up on it, and then sort of try to remember that path that I created for myself. But the start of the game is pretty exciting. There's a hell of a bunch of zombies outside and a hell of a bunch of zombies in here, and they'll start wailing on you if you just stand around. The Prepper's screaming at me over the radio. He's like, "Hey there, little boy. I see you outside, and I want you to come inside my dark preparation dungeon so that you don't get eaten by the zombies." And I'm like, "Why, sure, mister. I'd love to come inside your dark preparation
It seems like the
dungeon."
zombies are more interested in punching you than eating you.
They like to give you high fives.
Yeah.
The zombies are all actually very friendly.
All about teamwork?
Yeah, they're all about teamwork, friendship. They want you to play for Team Zombie because there aren't a lot of humans left, and you know, they want to get as many in the ranks as they can. Yeah, join the winning team. So they come up and they're like, "Hey, buddy, high five," trying to introduce yourselves. You, of course, freak out. You cannot handle this. Perhaps your characters, since their only real form of human interaction is talking to a man through a speaker, they're not very good at engaging people socially. So they sort of panic. You have a cricket bat, and usually you always have a cricket bat and a handgun that you can use to kill the zombies that are trying to be your friends. Or you can also oh, look, jump scares, a lot of those. You can also bring along other weapons as well to dispatch the zombies. But in any case, you always want to kill the zombies. You don't want to work with them.
But the cricket bat is the only melee weapon.
The cricket bat is the only melee weapon you ever have.
Yeah.
And at least when you're playing on standard difficulty, the number of hits that it takes to fell a zombie can change wildly. It's not uncommon to just sort of run up and one-shot a zombie and then turn around and have the other zombie take like 8 or 9 hits. And oftentimes what'll happen is if you want to play slow and safe, I gotta remember what I'm supposed to do here first. There's a nice arrow pointing over there to a thing you can't get to. You've got your save station here that we don't need yet. It seems like the first thing he always wants you to do is turn on the lights in the safe house. So I need to find the bathroom area. Can I not open this door yet? No, I can't open this door yet. So let me find that first.
So what are the things you actually liked about this game?
To hop over this barricade. I really like the multiplayer, which we can play a little bit of here in a second. I think the multiplayer modes take better advantage of the game's mechanics and sort of like all the different zombie types and all the different weapons that you have, and lets you use them to their fullest and makes for a much more enjoyable game. Whereas, as I was sort of going to talk about with the cricket bat, when you're playing in single player, since you're weak and vulnerable, I mean, it's survival horror, your character's not like a superhero, you can't, unless you have certain pieces of equipment, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to take on a huge horde of zombies by yourself at once. I'm going to pick up my iPad here. So you want to engage enemies one-on-one. That's the safest way to dispatch them. And in order to conserve munitions and supplies, you're going to want to dispatch them with the cricket bat. And fighting with the cricket bat is extremely tedious. As I was saying earlier, it can take a lot of hits to fell an enemy. The zombie just walks at you. You hit him with the cricket bat. He recoils, sticks his head up, makes a little noise, walks at you again. and you just repeat ad nauseum over and over and over for the 8 or 9 hours that it can take to get through the campaign. Our first mission here is to go find the previous survivor and recover his bug out bag, which I'm not sure if this is a term that the game made up or if it's something that things are actually called, but apparently backpacks are sometimes called bug out bags, which is abbreviated as Bob. So you have to go find your Bob. Again, your character not super great at social interaction, so maybe this is sort of like a Tom Hanks Wilson type situation.
After the brand of sporting gear manufacturer.
So here we are. We got our cricket bat, bazungas. Gonna wail on this guy a couple of times.
Their brains certainly splat real good.
Yeah, their heads crack open, and you can see their brains, and you think that would lead to a quick kill, but doesn't always happen. And they got the little neck hole going on there. So boom, we got our bug out bag. Now I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff on the pad that you can't see, but you click and drag to open up your backpack, and then you click and drag to move your items around. As you can see here, when you're interacting with your bag, you get a nice little reverse shot of what's happening to your character back in the world. So sometimes you'll be working on your bag and you'll be like digging through it and you look up and there's a zombie.
Yeah.
He's gonna get you. He's sneaking up behind you. So sometimes that'll happen, and when it works, it's pretty spooky. And you're like, oh no, I gotta hurry up and like close my bag and get out of there. Oftentimes, just nothing happens though, and you're just clicking and dragging a lot of stuff around that I kind of wish you could use buttons for.
Yeah, do you ever think that it'd be better if you could just do it a traditional way rather than having to use the gamepad?
I really wish the inventory stuff isn't as intrusive. What I really don't like is the weapon switching on the touchpad. Now we're getting our second mission to go scan junction boxes and start reactivating closed circuit television so that the prepper can continue his creepy stalker Big Brother thing on us. So we're gonna go do that. But switching weapons with the touchpad is a little bit of a pain. The boxes that you put your weapons into, I'm showing you guys, but I know nobody on the stream can actually see it, are kind of small, and you have to press on the pad pretty hard to call up the intended weapon. So when you're in the heat of combat and there's zombies coming down all over you and you need to get to one of these higher power weapons, it can lead to some frantic situations where you're just sort of mashing on buttons and accidentally drinking soda and dropping ammunition.
And so it's not.
I really hate it when I accidentally drink soda.
Yes, instead of picking out the weapons that you want. Kind of wish that was on like the L or R's, but
So they're obviously going
functions.
for some sort of like realistic, management system, but it doesn't really benefit the horror. It kind of intrudes on the gameplay.
I mean, the advantages that you get in terms of like building a suspenseful or horrific experience are not equal to the disadvantages of the clumsy weapon selecting, because it's just a frustration. And I mean, there are a lot of things in the game that pull you out of the sort of straight horror experience already, such as having to constantly look down at your pad to check your map and switch your weapons and do your items. You are not focusing on what's happening on the screen all the time. Your attentions are always split. I think that kind of hurts sort of the horror immersion.
Yeah, like the intention is good because it's like, in real life you'd have to look at your map if you're in a scenario.
You would have to be, it would take some
But
distraction.
you're not in a zombie-themed room when you're playing this game. You're in your living room, and so diverting your attention is kind of just dropping out.
Why did it want me to come in here?
Seems like there's a few opportunities for you to loot. Yeah, like
Oh,
there.
right. Oh, right. I had to get the pass card to open that locked door. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a
done this like 3 different
loot
times. I think
opportunity
I
on
remember.
a corpse out there in the hallway as well.
Yeah, you can use the pad to. You saw a little bit of it when I was trying to scan open that door, but so a lot of the exploration you do in the game is sort of done using the pad. So you click and hold down one of the shoulder buttons, and you move the pad around either in real life with your body, or you can move it with the analog stick, and this allows you to scan all these little white dots that appear on your map, and by doing so, it'll say like, "Oh, this is a zombie.
So
it has no loot," or
like
"This
Resident
is
Evil Revelations, basically.
yeah, this is a filing cabinet. It has some bullets inside of it." Which is an interesting idea, but again, it means that a lot of your exploration is done in a very hands-off way. You basically stand at the opening of a room, you scan all the objects inside of it, you have a pretty good idea before even entering the room what all is going to be in it and what you're going to find, and so you don't do a whole lot of actual like exploring and looking around and digging through things, which again I think is kind of one of the pillars of fun survival horror
Yeah.
games. It's just sort of going into these strange environments, exploring what happened, sort of unraveling the mystery, or just being in the creative and spooky world that the designers built. But we're gonna exit out of the subway station. In the beginning parts of the game, you have to travel around the subway station to get to different parts of London, but later on you're gonna start opening up manhole covers, and you can use the sewer system as a quick and easy shortcut to get around to different spots on the map. Once I collect whatever it is, once I scan the CCT box and get back, I will probably stop after that. That'll be as far
Does
into
the game
campaign I'm gonna get to.
have a good? Is it a good size? The game? It seems like.
It took a good amount of time. I think it took me 9-10 hours to get all the way through.
And just in terms of like using London as a locale, is there a good variety to the kind of places that you go, or?
I mean, there's a good variety, I suppose. You go through a lot. It's all a lot of cramped corridors and sewers and interior spaces that look like this.
Okay.
The Buckingham Palace area is definitely one of the more interesting areas, but it's pretty small.
Okay.
And like pretty much half the game is those underground sort of sewer and subway metro station levels you see, and then the other half of the game is these exterior areas which look open but are actually also pretty cramped because there's always barricades and things in the way for you to get around. But otherwise, it was kind of funny. I was playing this game and I was crossing I don't remember what it's called, but like a famous landmark in London, one of those. And apparently it was right next to where the GameSpot UK offices used to be. And Justin was watching me play.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, that's totally where they used to be. And we kind of looked around and we were pretty sure we could see like the corner of the building of the old GS UK offices like off in the distance.
Well, that's cool.
So that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But here is some typical combat.
Man, their
in
heads
ZombiU.
sure do just cave in real good, don't they?
And there you go.
Oh.
I mean, that is a large part of what you'll be doing right there. So we dispatch that zombie. You'll see these little safe house looking rooms.
Yes.
Oh, here's another fun thing that I'm not sure if I had the chance to call out in the review. Doors to new areas take time to load, but it doesn't cut to a loading screen, so you can still move around freely in the environment.
Yeah.
It is not uncommon that there will be, a carnival of zombies coming down the way, wanting to give you hugs, and you need to hurry up and get through this door because you're about to die, and you have a bunch of valuable equipment that you don't want to lose, but you have to wait for the door to load. So you sort of run around like a chicken with your head cut off, waiting for the door to load, and the zombie's coming down on top of you, and you're just kind of out of luck.
Ooh, newspapers.
You can collect newspapers. That was something I didn't fully realize. Some aspects of the game are not explained perhaps as well as they could have been. So you collect a lot of newspapers and pieces of paper. And turns out you can go, there's an option buried in the options menu that lets you go and look up these newspapers and notes and read them. The game didn't seem to say anything about that, and I didn't know about it until like the very end. So a lot of the plot elements I hope, are explained through these newspapers and pieces of paper, because you meet very few characters in the game. None of them interact with each other, they only interact with you.
Right.
But since your characters are faceless and mute and disposable,
Yeah.
nobody's really able to have a relationship with you because you're always a different person.
Sure.
And the game has trouble recognizing when you are the same person or when you are somebody new.
Yeah.
So I've reactivated the closed circuit television. I'm not going to keep playing the single player. There's a workbench over here as well. I would like to make sure to point this out, because this is another thing that was only very briefly mentioned in the game. But this is where you go to upgrade your weapons. You'll collect weapon upgrade parts to shoot more bullets or have more capacity or faster reload times, and that's where you go to apply those upgrades. That's something I didn't realize for a long time in the game. You also have your big safe box here. This is where items go to be safe. If they're in your safe box and you die, you will not lose your items. A lot of what I did was hoard items in that safe box, because there are some very difficult missions later on in the game that you are going to need a lot of weapons and supplies for, because they're kind of just a gauntlet of zombies. And you can either prepare and have these items there at the ready for you to go and engage zombies with, or you can take a more masochistic approach where if you don't take anything, but the default equipment, because every time a new character spawns, they always have a cricket bat, and they always have a pistol, and they always have a flashlight. If you just roll with those 3 items, then it doesn't matter if you die. You're not going to lose anything. You just respawn as another person. The world state is not reset. So you, sort of like in the original BioShock, you can just keep throwing characters at the problem until eventually you just brute force your way through.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back out to the options menu. We're going to play a little bit of multiplayer because that's a lot more fun.
Okay.
But yeah, ZombiU, I mean, it has some interesting ideas. The gunplay is pretty fun at times, which we'll see in the multiplayer, which is the mode that really takes advantage of the gunplay. But I wasn't a fan of the pacing and design of the single player campaign.
How would you improve the single player campaign?
I mean, that's a complicated question. It depends on if you wanted it to still be a survival horror game or if you wanted it to be an action game. Honestly, I think the game works better as an action game. Somebody else is going to need to sign in with one of the Wiimotes.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never done this before with the Wiimote and Nunchuck, so I'm not entirely sure how the shooting's going to work with those, so that'll be fun to watch what you guys experiment with. I've only ever done it with the Pro Controller.
The Pro Controller, yeah.
But honestly, I would say focus more in the single player campaign on just moving away from the survival horror aspect and making it more of a, I guess, like survival action or survival entertainment. So something that takes more advantage of the shooting and gunplay and the different zombie types, which we'll see a lot of as well in the multiplayer, and sort of building these interesting encounters with these different zombie types and forcing the player to like pick and choose, like, okay, I need to destroy the exploding zombie first because he's the biggest threat, and then I need to push the heavily armored zombie away because I'm not going to be able to kill him because he takes 1,000,000 hits, and then I can, weed out a couple of these weaker zombies first and then focus on him, and like that sort of stuff is fun and engaging. But yeah, the single player does not take advantage of that much at all. So let's see. I am ready to go. Press Y on the pad. The person wants to be a Zombie King. There we go. And we don't have to really worry about names. Player 1 and 2 is fine. Why don't you hit X, whoever's got the...
I don't have an X button.
Oh, right.
I don't know. That says gamepad, so that's all you.
Oh, that's all me. There. Oh, okay, this is just for assigning names. There we go.
Proceed.
I had to assign both of your names to player 1 and 2. So right now, you just have Assault and Killing Box by default. By unlocking a certain achievement, you can unlock a third game type as well, but since we just started, we don't have that, and Assault is the most fun. So we're going to go with Assault, we'll play on normal, and 4 flags is fine. So the basic gist of this mode is you want to capture flags. There are going to be 3 flags in the environment. The survivor player and the zombie player both want to capture them. Whenever you capture a flag, you get a point, and the first player to 4 points is the winner. The zombie player gets to use the touchpad to... It's basically sort of like an RTS kind of thing going on. You collect resources automatically, and you spend those resources to deploy different zombie types in the environment. Whereas the survival player, he gets to just pick his loadout and shoot hella zombies. So once you go ahead, you can use left and right to choose what you want your loadout to be, and then I guess press the dash button to spawn.
I can use left and right to... Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to look down at my map here. I have to wait for you to spawn, but right now I can spawn 3 different types of zombies. I can spawn red zombies, which capture flags, blue zombies that'll sort of stand guard and wait for somebody to get near them, and then white zombies, which actively pursue the survivor. But I'm going to...
And different zombies cost a different amount of resources, so
like,
you kind of have
since
to...
the red zombies can capture flags, they're one of the most valuable, so they cost the most. So they cost like 10 resources. I can't spawn zombies close to where the survivor is. On my sort of top-down display, there's a big area that's like redded out that shows where I can't deploy zombies. But as you can see here, like Peter's looking, and boop, oh, another zombie just appeared. Oh, and another zombie just appeared over there. So I can like create zombies nearby them. The good tactic is to sort of try to surround the survivor. There's always
Almost got it.
different access points.
All right, that flag is yours. You can move on to another one now, Peter.
But this guy wants my brains.
I know. I'm going to let you deal with that guy. I'm going to start
Out of my way.
deploying red zombies to other flags. That's sort of the big advantage the Zombie King has, is he can sort of spread out his forces and capture multiple flags at once, whereas the survival player has to commit and focus on one at a time.
So am I already out of ammo for this one weapon? It seems to be...
Yeah, you are.
You have a sidearm. I'm just not 100% sure how you get to it in the Wii U configuration, or in the
I'll
Wii
let
and
you guys
Nunchuck
blow
configuration.
Ugh.
So I'm gonna keep deploying zombies.
All right, you got some bullets in that gun.
I'm gonna throw some throw some more white
Bullets
zombies
in
at
which
you.
gun? How do I?
That gun, the one you're holding in your hands right now.
The one that,
That very one.
the one that's not firing.
Oh no!
Because he's eating me. Because I'm dead.
You got tackled.
Here, you give it a try. I suck at this.
I will say it works. It actually the gunplay works a lot better with the
Well, the Pro Controller. The
controller.
Pro Controller is pretty
because
cool.
it's
Yeah.
it's basically made for that.
Respawn. Yes. Hell yes, I wish to respawn.
But as the Zombie King, as I deploy my
Wow.
zombies and the survivor kills him, I actually gain experience and level up. And whenever I level up, I can purchase a new zombie type.
Right.
So then, as the fight progresses, I can create more interesting encounters for the survivor player by employing different zombie types. This mode is also reminiscent of it's reminiscent of an encounter you'll have in the single player, but I guess I won't say any more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. But the sort of Zombie King section in single player is one of the most is one of the more interesting encounters you will have.
Yes,
And as you're sort of
dead.
getting a taste for here in the multiplayer, your character is extremely fragile.
Is there a lot of ammo on the map to pick up, or is it pretty much like?
There are ammo
limited?
caches, like Carolyn just
Oh, I
walked
see.
by one right
Yeah,
there. But most of the time, what'll end up happening is you'll just replenish your ammo by dying and respawning. There really isn't a huge penalty in this mode to dying and respawning.
Well, yeah.
Other
except-
than it just sort of wastes your time.
Yeah,
and
which
gives the
which
Zombie
obviously
King-
can be huge. Like if you're on the brink of capturing a flag or what have you, and hey, what's going on here?
What do you see?
No, I'm just trying to. Oh, there's still a zombie here. Well, I want this flag.
So I'm going to deploy some more zombies around Carolyn's position to sort
Oh,
of
great.
try to establish some
How do
flanking.
you? Oh, how do you?
Come in at multiple angles,
yeah.
different vectors of attack.
No! Get up! Dang it!
So I just unlocked these explosive zombies.
Oh, good. I'm
Explosive
so
zombies.
happy
One
for
of my
you.
favorite types of zombies. There you go. There's one coming up on Carolyn here.
Boom.
If you just shoot them straight away, they will explode in your face, but if you time your shot, or if you aim your shots carefully and just shoot them in the head, they will not. But you can also use them to your advantage, too.
Take
by-
out other zombies.
Yeah, if you group them together with an exploding
Right.
zombie and then blow them up all at once, you can take out a bunch of my zombies at the same time.
Come on. Oh, hell no.
Out of bullets. Have we still not figured out how to get to the pistol?
Oh, man.
Oh wait, yeah, your secondary weapon is that carbine. Never mind.
Yeah.
You don't have a pistol. You can also see, so while I gain levels and unlock new zombies, as the survivor player earns kills and
Oh,
does
come
well,
on, this flag is almost mine.
they will earn certain rewards as well. So you viewers at home may have caught a brief glimpse of the landmine drop that was nearby Carolyn's position before she got taken down. It's sort of that blue Lego block.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, God.
like a little extra bonus pickup, basically. Usually, it's either a landmine or like a health pack. There are also auto turrets hidden around the map as well that the survivor player can collect and deploy to give themselves a little extra
Finally.
firepower.
Okay, that flag is mine.
All right, so let's fan out some more red zombies here.
So after this round, we'll probably switch over to Darksiders 2. Kevin's going to join us to
Yeah,
show
we
a
got-
bit of that.
Excellent.
Kevin waiting in the wings over there. I don't know, you're gonna roll up and shoot all my red zombies.
Hell
Not
yeah.
my red zombies. I work so hard.
Huh.
Like how they're lured by meat.
It's not so good to be the king after all, is it?
Let's see, let's see. So I've got some resources. Oh, and you just blew up my orange zombie. Again.
Oh no, I'm out of
I'll put some more whites
I'm out of
in
all
there.
kinds of ammunition
These
here.
guys.
Uh. Well,
Yeah, if you knock a zombie down, usually by shooting him in the feet, you can run up and hold down the fire button to do a little melee execution kill, step on their face. Put some more red zombies down here and finish out this flag.
that one.
The Zombie King player also has a maximum capacity of zombies he can deploy. So right now I can only have 8 zombies on the field at a time. So you have to sort of mix and match and be careful with your zombie selections, because obviously you're going to want to deploy a lot of red zombies to capture flags, but the red zombies, that's all they do, is just go after flags and sort of wail on them. They won't actually attack the survivor player. So you have to be careful and balance your zombies. Let's see here.
Hey.
I'm going to try to make things hard for Carolyn. Leveled up again.
Oh dear.
And there we are.
Ah, boo.
Boo.
All
So
right.
that's the multiplayer. It's pretty fun. Only 2 players though.
Yeah.
One person the Zombie King, one person the Survivor.
Right.
But still, a lot of fun to be had there.
Cool.
So I'm gonna exit out of that. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna switch over.
Yeah, let's
Darksiders 2.
get.
You want to switch out with me here, Kevin?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Right,
So yeah, we're gonna play the version of Darksiders 2, which came out for PC, Xbox, PS3. Playing the Wii U version.
Yes.
And Dan needs to. Whoops.
There you are, sir.
Now
Yeah,
I'll
so
speak into
we're
a microphone.
Swapping Wii U's here because we need to get the one that has the save games on it hooked in. So that'll just be a moment here.
Hurrah!
And
So the biggest difference for Darksiders 2 that you've noticed would be what, the gamepad use?
Excuse me, my microphone was in my shirt. Yeah, pretty much. This is one of those occasions. Of course, this is a port, so it's a pretty, it's a game that's typically meant to be played with just a controller without too much hassle outside of that. So the gamepad is used mainly for some inventory management if you want to do that.
hey, Kevin, let's say.
I'm pressing.
Just hand it over to him real quick, maybe?
Oh, you need it? Okay. So the gamepad that's not currently in my hands, but I'm going to pretend is in
Yes.
my hands, it's actually used for some inventory management if you want to use it for that. You can use it to press icons on it if you want to perform special moves that way, which is completely insane,
Yeah.
and you don't want to do that. Pardon me, I have a little sniffle. And, obviously some of the cutscenes and stuff show up on the pad, so it's very pretty, actually,
Yeah.
surprisingly. And it also includes the DLC that came out for the other versions.
Which was...
Somebody's Ars Tomb.
Well, what's the... Is it just like
Somebody's Tomb.
more...
It is more
quests?
Darksiders 2. I wouldn't say it's Darksiders 2 necessarily at its best.
Okay.
But the good news with that DLC is that you can play it at any time as you're going through, and it will give you, if you haven't unlocked the particular abilities that you need through the normal campaign, it just gives you those things temporarily while you make your way through the DLC.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
that might be, I'm going to take my hat off. So Dan's figuring that out now. But yeah, otherwise a pretty solid port is my impression, with the downside of being, well, a couple things I don't like. You can use a Pro controller, but a couple things I don't like using the gamepad is that to swim and to maneuver boulders around, you have to tilt.
And they don't give you an option to not have to do that?
I need to look through and see, but
Yeah.
it defaults to that.
Okay.
And so sometimes, like, you're holding the controller in whatever way, and then you notice.
You start to swim and it sends you in that
Suddenly I'm
weird
like, why am I
direction?
swimming down? And then I
Yeah.
realize, oh, and like
Yeah.
for a while I couldn't figure out why the boulders weren't moving when I moved the sticks the way I'm used to. And it's like, oh, because I have to do this. So, and the frame rate tends to drop a little bit here and there, much more so than before.
Really?
Not hugely. It's not like suddenly it's jittering along and you feel terrible
But yeah, just
while
something
you
you
watch.
noticed a
But,
little bit, yeah.
and I'm trying to remember where I am in the game. So hopefully I won't be in too insane place. Luckily, Darksiders 2 is not that hard or anything.
No,
so.
but it's fun though. I thought it was.
It's
a
one of
great
my
game.
top 10 games of the year for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
So I wouldn't say that this is the version you want to get if you're multi-platform focused. But if a Wii U is all you have, this is just still great.
Still a good game,
I
yeah.
still really like this game a lot. So Tom McShay, not as big of a fan of the game as I am. He likes it. He just doesn't.
I'm on your side. I think this game is great.
Yeah, I really like it. I think that it took elements that are are common in other games. You know, it's very easy to make the Zelda comparisons and Prince of Persia comparisons.
Yeah, but that
and other
doesn't hurt it.
comparisons,
That
so.
shouldn't be counted against it, I don't think.
No, because I think they're used in a way that makes this game feel pretty unique.
Yeah.
The journey so far.
And this will catch up. I would say that if you didn't play Darksiders 1 because all you had is a Wii, or you just didn't play it for whatever reason, you don't need to know too much. We've got on the site like what's happened so far in Darksiders. You should still play Darksiders 1 if you can, because it's really good. But if you're just jumping into Darksiders 2 because you've got a Wii U and you want to play it, there's no reason you shouldn't. The little problems aside.
The other ports that you played so far for the Wii U, has it only been Ninja Gaiden? Have you played any other ports?
I haven't played any Mass Effect yet.
Okay.
I think. Okay. I think this is taking me into this mini boss fight.
Yeah, even just there, I could see the frame rate.
Yeah, the frame
skip a
rate
little bit of
definitely
beat.
has some dipping problems.
It looks like the textures are a bit cleaner though in this version compared to the other platforms.
It doesn't look bad at all. So
Yeah.
and this is where tilting keeps getting me, because it's like, you have to tilt. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
So there we go.
There you go.
Just like, all I want to do is use buttons. There might be a way to turn that off. So I need to.
I love the art direction in this game.
I really love the art.
In some ways, like it's, like I feel like the main character's design is like a little like kind of cliched at this point, but all the enemies, like the world, it's all really well done.
Yeah, I really like this game a lot. I'm gonna get rid of this thing, and then another one's gonna come out of this ball because it's too late.
This
But
game always kind of reminded me of Legacy of Kain a little bit as well, like Soul Reaver.
Oh, sure. I mean,
So
the
serious.
character design is on
Yes, exactly.
game is so reminiscent of.
Yeah, totally.
oh, see, it's the tilting that always gets me. It's like, I don't want to tilt.
Yeah, it's always a shame when they sort of force you to use those mechanics with motion controllers. It's great when they provide you an option to do it, you know, the normal way.
Yeah, and there might be, and
Yeah.
of course with the. There we go. That's what I was meaning to do the entire time.
That soft underbelly. Just look at it.
Tilt. Tilt.
Ah.
That's the downside of the tilt, is sometimes,
Yeah.
like, because it'll turn into that little slug. The problem is that I'm gonna have to off this one. Okay. There we go. Get that. Soft underbelly time.
Is there an equivalent of achievements or trophies in these games that you?
Not anything that's popped up, but this Wii U does not have the update.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally have only played with the sort of operating system stuff since the update,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure if Mario has that or not. But I mean, I think we were just playing it with an updated system and nothing
True,
when
but
we were playing. So you
we
never
may
know.
not have done anything worthy of.
We beat the first world.
True. We did.
Usually they give you some sort of like,
Yeah.
You
a
did
little
it.
gimme
Yeah.
just to whet your appetite.
yeah.
All right, I'll get rid of you first. And now you.
Oh, come on. Oh, one more time.
I don't like these things.
Ooh.
This game is just so well made.
It really is, except I don't like these things.
Right, yeah. But there's like just moments like these where it's like, wow, all the attention and detail went into this. And it all works too. It's all really cohesive.
Where'd it go? There it is. Hurry. This should do it. And there we go, one more dramatic kill. Ugh. If I were Han Solo, or if I were Luke, I'd crawl inside there now.
Time for a nap.
That's exactly right. I can't hear any game sound, but that's when it goes do 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 do. I really like that sound effect.
That sort of feedback loop.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for really good like feedback sound effects like that. And those wraps aren't better than what I have. So if you don't know a lot about how Darksiders 2 has changed over Darksiders 1, probably the addition of major RPG elements is probably the biggest. It's too bad you can't see, like on the tablet now I see that scene on the tablet as well as on the TV, and it looks really great.
Now, there's not really an option for the gamepad play on this.
Yeah, not really. As far as I can tell, it's all TV.
Yeah.
But the gamepad is used for various reasons. Yeah.
Which is actually, I mean, not that this really is like the better way to do it, but I remember in the console versions there was this odd lag when you would hit start and try to go to your inventory.
That's still here if you do it that way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't
So that's where we are.
like.
And so now we are going to head out to the forge. But yeah, I've basically, it took me a while to figure out, it's interesting because the game says, okay, to map the special abilities, hit D-pad down, but then doesn't take you through the entire process. So you have to actually drag, if you play and you can't figure out how to map your special abilities so that you don't have to use the touchpad, but you can actually use the buttons, you have to make sure to drag the icon onto one of the 4 faces.
Okay.
So here we are back here with my friends the Scotsman.
Yeah, did you complete that little fight with him yet?
No, I haven't done that. But one of my favorite touches, by the way, is that I can't be bothered to open my own doors or open my own chests.
Well, you're nearly a supreme being. Why should you have to do that?
Pretty much. And I do love the art style. It retains some of the chunkiness of the first Darksiders, but it gives it some harsher edges, especially given the difference between War was the protagonist in the first game, Death is the protagonist in the second. And I really like how they feel different, how they look different.
Yeah.
Death is much more agile.
It is finished then.
I just love
Or as
these
they say, agile.
Yeah. I just really like these exaggerated dimensions and ratios of just like a forearm compared to their waist.
Yeah.
In some instances, it's the same. You know, it's.
Well, as you saw there, sometimes they'll magnify that with camera angles so
Yes.
that you see the largeness even more because you're seeing the smaller character from the back of the larger character, which just makes them look that much more insignificant.
Yeah.
An earthquake drove us from the foundry.
Plus, that's a
Definitely.
beard that I wish I had.
Something else roams within. The Guardian was never finished.
If I could braid my beard, I'd know I'd made it.
How am I to complete him? In the forest lies another.
It's always in the
construct,
forest.
One of the few remaining who have not fallen
Not in this
to
game. There
corruption.
are other things.
True, yeah,
Other
no, yeah,
places
yeah.
besides
As the
forests.
Guardian. But his heart is strong.
Oh, that's sweet. His heart is strong.
And he will guide you to the foundry. There, you may activate the Guardian using the Maker's key.
Tell me more about the key.
The constructs are awakened.
I will say,
I,
for action games on the Wii in
constructs
general,
another soul like you or
I don't
not
know
until that soul is given.
if it's just the games I'm playing. Not necessarily a big fan of the right analog stick, even though it's exactly the same as the left analog stick. There's something about camera control that hasn't felt quite right in either Darksiders or Ninja Gaiden. but it could be just these particular games. So I don't want to say, hey,
Yeah, they
this is
can-
how I feel about it in general.
They could tune that stuff in software. I'm sure it all comes down to sensitivity. It doesn't function the same way in every game. They have to
Right.
deliberately say, this much motion provides this much.
By a Maker's life force.
And I will say one complaint that I have for this game that's carried over into the port is that your crow Dust can be so useless sometimes. He's supposed to be your waypoint basically. If
Right,
you figure out
right.
if you can't figure out where to go, he's supposed to be able to lead you. He's a really bad GPS sometimes though.
Well, it's as the crow flies. Maybe you can't always make it that way.
That's true. He will sometimes, like, there's a spot in particular where there's a circular stairway that's much later in the game, where he'll essentially lead you back and forth if
Nice.
you rely on him. So
That's helpful.
make sure to have your wits about you when you play. So
I kind of want to go back and play some more of this game now.
yeah, this game is super rad. Like I said, one of my favorites of the year.
May the Maker's forge.
So I think I'll just continue ahead. Sometimes I do that just because I can, not because I really need to. But don't do 3 tumbles in a row because then you grind to a halt on that 3rd tumble.
Yeah.
Like this.
I thought the fight with the Maker, or whatever his name is, not the Maker, this guy over here.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good way to sort of hone your reaction times and just your ability to dodge and block. And
As long as you do it early.
Yeah,
Like if
definitely,
you do
yeah.
it later in the game, he's a pushover. Like
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you leave this area, he's totally a pushover.
yeah, no, the moment I met him, I was like, cool, I'll do it. I'll give it a try. It took me a good 15 tries or so before I finally beat him, but got that sense of accomplishment. I definitely improved my abilities, my reaction time.
Just to keep things going, though, I'm gonna
No, totally.
I'm
yeah.
gonna move on up. Yeah, there's something about the analog stick when I use it for camera control that starts to feel a little looser than I'd like. Sort of reminiscent of how that C stick felt on the GameCube.
Oh boy, yeah.
So, but like I said, it could very much be just the way this game is utilizing it. And of course, now we get to the bits that start to feel like Prince of Persia. Get up there. Thank you. And yeah, you can't really, obviously, because you're looking on the stream, you can't see the pad screen, but like I have my whole inventory sort of laid out there. It looks much the same as it does if I, so for example, if I pull up the inventory menu,
There's that lag.
there's that lag,
That I
yeah, but
love.
I pulled up, there we go. So it looks much the same with all the tabs sort of laid out there, except it's on the screen so I can use the touchpad. Part of the problem is that though
So
they're so
tiny.
tiny,
Yeah.
and I've got such big fingers that I've ultimately just ended up using the main menu. So
But
ultimately
Kevin, it comes
I'm
with
playing
a
this.
stylus. You should use the stylus.
That's true. Yes, that's comfy.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I'm playing this game using the gamepad exactly as I would with the Pro controller or with a regular controller on the other platforms. But yeah, if you don't know Darksiders 2, see, there's more loading screens. Probably more of these in this version than in the other versions as well. I'd say.
If I remember correctly, at least on the PS3, it did a lot of, it installed a lot of files onto the hard drive, I think, maybe to alleviate some of that problem. Is that something that happens with this version? Because I know that there's very little hard drive space.
I don't
I
think.
highly doubt that
Yeah, I
that's
don't think
an
any
option.
Wii U games have a mandatory install.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily mandatory on the PS3, but it was certainly like, okay, yeah, you want the option to do this, go for it. But yeah, I mean, 32 gigs is so small. The update itself is like 5 gigs.
Yeah, I think you're left with 27 after the update.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy.
yeah.
And some more of those loadings.
So
yeah.
that does happen more in this version.
Oh,
than another?
absolutely.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So there's no reason. These are all low level. I'm level 7 or 8, I think. So no reason to really mess around with
Sully
level 2s.
yourself by fighting these low lifes.
That's exactly right. Like I said, that's definitely longer loading times there.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I wonder, I mean, hopefully that's just like poor optimization or developers not quite being able to harness the power of the Wii U yet, and not something that we'll see constantly going forward, because Peter, spec-wise, I mean, there's no reason, is there, that the Wii U should struggle more, or
I think it's got to do with what I mentioned earlier, because when you're reading off a hard disk, it's a lot faster. When you're using an optical disk to load data.
But I mean, the 360 version you can play without installing to the hard drive. I mean, installs are always optional on a 360.
True, but that's not to say that people won't do it, and people didn't do it for the review.
Well, I'm just okay. Yeah, I don't know if
I'm not saying like the whole game. I'm saying like installing.
Yeah,
like,
no, I
some
don't. I
resource file.
I don't know if load. I mean, my impression from what Kevin was saying is that even if you play it on the 360 without installing it, you won't get load times this.
Well, I mean, so from a technical standpoint, the Wii U, I don't know the exact number, but it has much more RAM than you would typically have in the other systems.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it should be able to buffer stuff to the RAM and keep it in there, thus alleviating load times.
Right.
Which is why I suspect loading it off the optical disc is taking longer, because otherwise it would have been buffered ahead of time.
Okay.
But you know,
See,
that
here's
could be
a tilt in any direction to maneuver the construct. Which again, when you haven't been thinking about tilting,
right. Yeah. It kind
it's
throws
one of
you
those
off
things
base.
where it's like, oh yeah, I have to think about that. So here we go. Hopefully I can remember how to do all of these dungeons and not get stuck.
Yes, Kevin, we
Don't get
want to
stuck.
watch you play through all of these dungeons. Darksiders 2 Marathon begins now.
So I'm going to use the touchscreen to activate. Luckily, I'm going down like the necromancy tree, so some of those options aren't so bad if you want to use the touchscreen to activate stuff. But you can see over there on the right that I also have an ability mapped.
Feels a lot like Devil May Cry when I think about the mix of sword and gunplay.
Yeah,
Being
the
able to
only
strafe.
the big difference of, well, the feel is very different in a lot of ways, but another big difference, of course, is that this game isn't nearly as challenging as a typical Devil May Cry
No,
game.
yeah, no, that game is brutal. Just sort of the being able to mix the two types of fighting rather quickly and kind of stream from one to the other.
No, yeah, totally. Let's see here. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of this, of
Yeah.
course. And then boom, get the chest. Nah. We'll get another one. It's funny, sometimes I can't help myself. I just dodge even though I don't need to in this game, and really any game that allows dodging, just to keep myself,
Amused.
yeah. Sometimes you just gotta
It's fun to play
create your own gameplay.
skillfully, even if your character can totally withstand some damage.
And I do like his animations. Where am I?
This definitely pulls off the sort of Prince of Persia-y platforming mechanics pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, don't tell Tom McShay that you think that.
Tom McShay and I disagree on a lot of things, so I'll hash it out with him.
I thought it was more. Well, I don't want to.
No, speak for Tom. Speak for Tom.
out of
No,
turn
let's speak for Tom.
No. I thought it was
Oh,
more
hello.
in comparison to Zelda that he found this game lacking.
Yeah, but I also think he doesn't like the way the platforming feels. You can also, if you get yourself in range of one of these things, you can just hit like the A button and do that. But it's just easier to shoot them like that. Get some free stuff. Oh. See, this is, again, this is like places where I can't really help myself. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like he should be able to hop up there.
Yeah. Let's see if I can hop over the ledge. Yes.
So we are approaching 12 o'clock here. Is there
Oh,
anything else you want to
noes.
show off? We got about 10 minutes left.
No?
No?
I mean, we're basically at a, this is Darksiders 2, and because of the way it's structured,
It's going to take a while to get
you see what you see, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, so,
So, I mean, I guess just the Wii U in general. Then, like, how are we feeling about it at this very early stage? For me, I mean, I'm optimistic. Like, I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, to me, Nintendo Land is a really interesting kind of showcase of multiplayer potential and interesting things that can be done with kind of presenting different information on the tablet and on the television. I think there's a lot of opportunities there, and while it's on one hand it's disappointing that like frame rate and loading issues seem to mar this and other high-profile ports that occupy the Wii U's launch. I really want to feel. I really want to be hopeful about the potential for third-party support on the Wii U going forward in a way that wasn't there with, the Wii or with a Nintendo console for a long time. But I'm not getting my hopes up on that front, but it would be nice to see. But I don't know, Peter, what are your thoughts on the Wii U at this point?
I mean, you kind of nailed it with potential. There's a lot of it, I think,
Yeah.
and it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, for developers to realize how to utilize.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the motion controls, how to not just do it just because
Sure.
you're supposed to. Like, yes, we have these controls now. We should just shoehorn a feature.
And I think, we will see, it's inevitable we're going to probably see some just dumb uses of that stuff that are just
no doubt.
totally
Yeah.
tacked on.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And,
Yeah.
for whether that's Nintendo dictating that to people or people just, developers are sort of beholden to the publisher and they're like, no, we need a game that's for the Wii U, and for the Wii U it has to be this,
Yeah.
And that's kind of the unfortunate mistake that I think scared off a lot of third-party publishers potentially. But also, we're at a time when we're going to start hearing about new consoles from Microsoft and Sony potentially in the next year.
Yeah.
So I think the advantages that Nintendo has with the Wii U right now is that it's new, it's different, it's a little bit exciting.
Yep.
And if they can attract, the right attention from consumers, that'll convince publishers, I think, to take a little risks, make a title for the Wii U that maybe then they can port to the PS3 or the PS4, whatever the hell it's going to be called.
It's going to be interesting to see if whatever the next consoles from Sony and Microsoft end up being, if they just totally steal the spotlight from the Wii U and if it kind of gets left behind, or if it does carve out a place for itself in the coming,
I think
cycle.
So I think it's whether or not the Wii U can maintain the sort of this is a game console first mentality, coming from Nintendo. I think we're seeing Microsoft kind of link together their various platforms into one like unifying experience, and that's all well and good, but it's almost taking away from like this is just a game console kind of a
Right.
scenario. And certain things come with that, and you also lose certain things when you miss that. So depending on where they go, Nintendo might be in a position where they can really capitalize on people who only care about gaming. But that'll
Only time will tell.
Van Ord, what do you say?
Well, it's hard for me to say because most of my game experience has been with multi-platform games so far. So I've played Ninja Gaiden 3, I've played this, but my own personal Wii U just got delivered today, so I'm excited to finally sit down and really go through it.
Yeah.
Some of my first instincts though are, a lot of stuff, like a lot of the interface is just simply not good.
Yeah.
And it's almost striking to me that in this day and age, a lot of these things just went through the way they did. The online sounds super problematic. A lot of people experiencing bugs and things like that through the firmware and interface, and it's going to take some cleaning up, I think.
Yes.
I think it was shocking to all of us that the game or the online didn't and the update didn't even go through till the day of launch
And
the day before launch.
It sounded
so.
like Nintendo was probably the developers were there working on it up until the last minute as
Yeah.
well, based on people we were talking to trying to get access to it. So the Nintendo obviously put this out the moment they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were working on it clearly up to the last minute.
And I mean, if for them, certainly criticisms are valid, but at the same time, like, for them, this is venturing into bold new territory. Like, this is, in terms of online, this is something on a scope that they have not really attempted previously, and so they're probably, building a whole infrastructure for all of this is quite an undertaking, and I'm glad. Well, again, it's too soon to tell what the ultimate Miiverse, what it will end up being, but I'm sort of an optimist about these things, and I'm hopeful that it will, end up being an interesting kind of social hub that feels distinctly different from Xbox Live, PSN,
Yeah.
what you get elsewhere. Because I'd like Nintendo to continue to have its own identity.
Yeah, and they're really good at doing that. They're really good at honing, like, this is the Nintendo way.
Yeah.
And either it works or people
Yeah.
don't like it. So.
Yeah.
Well, so Kevin, one more thing?
Oh, no. I was just going to
Keep
add
playing.
something completely meaningless to the conversation.
Do it. What do you got?
I don't even remember now.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. This was our little presentation of some of the Wii U launch titles. We took a look at Super Mario Brothers U.
Yes.
Took a look at Nintendo Land.
Right.
ZombiU, and finally Darksiders 2.
Darksiders 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for watching. Kevin Van Ord, Carolyn Pettit.
Thanks also to Maxwell McGee, who was with us earlier.
Yeah, totally.
Rest in peace. All right, and if there are any other games you guys want to see us play, leave a note in the comments. Maybe we'll come back with a stream later before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Thanks for watching.